Now imagine interacting with someone and they ask you, what did you do over the weekend? You think about it and then you say, well, I bought some groceries and I watched YouTube. Yeah, man, I watched a lot of tube. Gentlemen, what's going on? This is the Better Man channel where we choose to make life interesting. I'm a firm believer in the idea that interesting people attract opportunity. And the theme of this channel is to be that upright, virile, strong, energetic man that seizes life. No more bullshit. If you're not interesting, I promise you, you're missing out on tons of opportunity. And by interesting, I don't mean some wildly expressive extrovert. I merely mean a man of experience. My grandpa, he wasn't an overly demonstrative guy. He wasn't the loudest guy at the party, but the guy had 1,000 tales of life. And in a population where men are excessively inundated with uninteresting distractions, we need men of experience, some wild tales to lead the way. So think about it like this. Two guys are going to show up to give you an estimate for, let's say, your roof. The first guy, we'll call him Bob. He shows up and he looks like all the other Bobs in the world. Dude even has that odor of Bob. Smells like a Bob, if you know what I mean. He has a shirt with a name tag, Bob. Bob's not good with small talk. He tells you his estimate in a cold, Bob-like manner. You ask Bob a question, and he answers quick and unsure like, you think, Bob, because you're a courteous and generous man, you tell him you consider his estimate, and then you wait for the next guy, hoping his name's not Bob. You're waiting outside for the next appointment, and when a truck pulls up to the curb, he's 15 minutes early, a guy energetically jumps out and shuts his door. And that's when you notice this big-ass tiger painted on the side of the door. You're thinking to yourself, what the hell did I get into? He's no Bob, but damn it, Bob seems safe. He walks up, he says, life is short, and that's why I like to be early. He shakes your hand and says, my name is Brandon, but people call me Tiger. Well, okay, I'll bite, you think to yourself. Why the hell do they call you Tiger? He smiles this big-ass contagious grin and says, well, when I was a teenager, me and a buddy, we snuck into the zoo. I jumped the fence and he took a pic of me beside the sleeping tiger. But when the phone camera flashed, the damn thing woke up and he nearly took my leg. He lifts up his pants. He shows you this badass cool scar. And then Tiger invites you to walk around with him as he inspects your roof. He sparks up conversation. He asks about your family, your career. You guys find some similar interests, such as taking pics of tigers or whatever roofers and guys needing their roofs fixed do in their spare time. Considering that Bob and Tiger are both credible and both have 4.5 out of 5 ratings, which guy are you giving the job to? Being interesting is attractive. Whether you're looking for a relationship or a friendship or a business opportunity. But we can't be interesting unless we are willing to take risks. Risks come with stories, and stories are what's interesting. Think of your favorite hero, whether historically or fictional. That dude lived 1,000 lives in his lifetime, man. He was shrouded in experience. He was a true badass. Now imagine interacting with someone and they ask you, what did you do over the weekend? You think about it and then you say, well, I bought some groceries and I watched YouTube. Yeah, man, I watched a lot of tube. Pretty damn boring. That person has already lost interest. Why? Well, anyone and everyone buys groceries and anyone and everyone watches YouTube. There's a viewer who watches this channel sometimes, Outdoors with Brad. He has his own channel. Check him out. I'll leave a link. Shout out to you, Brad, if you're watching. We've had some small talk, like some small conversations about general beginnings and whatnot. And so maybe we have some similar interest, maybe we don't. But the guy's definitely interesting, and why? Because he does something that not everyone else is doing. He's out in nature, one-on-one with life. That's interesting. Hell, that's admirable. That's different. And I guarantee you, I promise you, he has hundreds of stories that resembles tigers. I found that that putting myself out there gives me the opportunity to experience something that would definitely give me a story. Even if I fail, man, like trying to strap a badass homemade sled to the four-wheeler and pulling my son behind it. But the damn sled kept breaking where I tied the knot to the sled to the four-wheeler. But we still have that tale of how dad tried to show son how to hang onto a rope and sled without the actual sled and just sliding on your ass. It was a big time fail, man, but that's cute as hell to the chick at the checkout line when I'm buying my groceries. If you think about it, maybe buying groceries can be interesting. Or that same story. That shows spirit, family, innovation to the new job I'm interviewing for. It's interesting. An interesting man is a man of tales. He shares the stories of life that they're not so extravagant that they're unbelievable, but he shares those stories that are just outside the boundaries of normal, so that you can believe them and they're interesting. We need more men that exert that natural energy to conquer the new unexplored conquest. People love interesting people. And hell, society needs genuine and authentic people of interest, men. Besides these woke leftists dyeing their hair a new gender neutral color just because, or whatever the hell they do. We've all been like Bob. Bob is boring, and sometimes boring can be good, but sometimes Bob just leads to boredom. In order to be interesting, we have to put ourselves out there. We have to take the risk required to own an actual interesting story, not just YouTube and buying groceries. I love you guys. I respect you guys. Go take some risks. You'll hear from me next episode.